Welcome to Tech Bytes and News, your daily roundup of articles featured in Hacker News. Today, we're diving into a fascinating blog post exploring the origins of those ubiquitous undergraduate divisibility problems. You know, the ones that pop up in Intro to Proofs classes? The ones that seem almost magically contrived? Exactly.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. Those problems always felt like they were pulled out of a hat. Like, prove this polynomial is always divisible by 6 for any integer n. It's mind-boggling how they seem to always work. So how do they come up with these things?
That's precisely what the blog post tackles. The author points out that if you just randomly pick a polynomial, the chances of it always producing multiples of a specific number are incredibly slim. So there's got to be a method to this madness.
Right. It's not random at all. So what's the secret sauce?
The key is combinatorics. The author argues that these problems are essentially disguised counting problems. To guarantee an integer result, you need to be counting something. The polynomial's value, when divided by the target number, like 6 in your example, represents the count of something.
I see. So it's not about the polynomial itself, but what it represents. Interesting.
Exactly. The author introduces Polya-Redfield counting, a powerful technique for counting things up to symmetry. Think about coloring bracelets or arranging beads. That's where the symmetry comes in. The number of ways to do this, considering rotational symmetry for example, will always be an integer.
Ah, the symmetry. That makes sense. So the polynomial emerges from this counting process, and the divisibility is a direct consequence of the group action involved in the counting.
Precisely. The blog post walks through examples like counting bracelets with n colors and arranging X's and O's on a tic-tac-toe board, considering rotations and reflections. In each case, the resulting polynomial is always divisible by the order of the symmetry group.
So the divisibility isn't some magical property of the polynomial itself, but a reflection of the underlying combinatorial structure. That's elegant. But, doesn't this approach limit the types of polynomials you can generate?
That's a great point. The author acknowledges that not every divisibility polynomial arises from Polya-Redfield counting directly. However, they propose a conjecture that after a change of variables, every such polynomial might be linked to this counting method. It's an open question.
Wow, an open conjecture. That's exciting. So essentially, these seemingly arbitrary divisibility problems are actually a clever disguise for elegant combinatorial structures. It's a beautiful connection between algebra and combinatorics.
Absolutely. The blog post beautifully illustrates the power of looking beyond the surface of a problem and uncovering the underlying mathematical structure. It's a testament to the interconnectedness of different mathematical fields, and it gives us a new appreciation for those seemingly random problems we encounter in our undergraduate studies.
Definitely. It's a great example of how seemingly simple problems can lead to deep mathematical insights. Thanks for sharing this.
My pleasure. And that's all the time we have for today's Tech Bytes and News. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time with more fascinating insights from the world of technology and mathematics. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.